Some of these slides made it into this video because of all of the horrific things that have happened there. Others are on this list simply due to their scare factor and the potential danger you face when riding them. Here are 20 most dangerous water slides ever. Thanks for all the awesome love and dedication you've shown us, Sylveon the Beast. In honor of your hard work, here's your very Number 20, the Steamer Slide. To be honest, we don't think that the name Steamer Slide was a very good one to begin with. Yet here it is, located at the Calypso Water Park in Canada. The name is pretty bad, but the accidents that have happened on this ride are even worse. The riders go down the slide on tubes, which tend to flip over mid-ride, injuring the park's participants. Back in 2015, the park was charged with 20 accounts of safety violations for several rides throughout the park. 11 of these cases were withdrawn, and they were only found guilty of 6, most of them revolving around the Steamer Slide in particular. The worst of the injuries were when a lady broke her vertebrae in 2 places and another broke their collarbone. Number 19, Walhalla Wave Slide. At the Aquatica Water Park in Orlando, Florida, you can find this insane water slide masterpiece that has a 78-foot drop, which winds its way into a supposed 720-degree corkscrew drop that creates a zero gravity effect when tossing the park goers into a vertical wave. This ride hasn't killed anyone yet, but it certainly has had its fair share of injuries, most of which seem to be bumps on the back, shoulder, or head when flying through the tunnels. Number 18, the L2. We aren't talking about the vertebrae in your spine. We're talking about the crazy slide park in Austria. The L2 was the very first water slide to feature a double loop. Of course, having a double loop is loads of fun, but it can potentially cause you a buttload of problems too. Pretty obviously, if you aren't going fast enough in a loop, chances are you won't make it around and you can either get stuck or fall straight onto your head. We couldn't find any accident reports for this water slide, but it's only a matter of time. Number 17, Geronimo Falls. The Geronimo Falls ride was once located in the infamous Action Park in New Jersey. It no longer exists because of the issues surrounding this water slide. The major issue this water slide had was the angle of steepness it achieved. It was so steep that riders would actually fall into the air instead of staying stuck to the slippery surface. The park workers tried to fix this flyaway problem by attaching a metal grate over the opening of the slide. This didn't work because people were just slamming against the metal cage and bouncing back down. The ride was closed because of these injuries. Number 16, Cannonball Loop. Not to be confused with the Cannonball named water slide in number 9, the Cannonball Loop was a super daring and dangerous water slide located in the original Action Park in New Jersey. No one died on this ride, but enough people were injured that the water slide was permanently closed after just 1 month. Just 1 month! Number 15, the Black Hole. Staying true to its horrifying name, this water slide located in the Wet n Wild Park in Orlando, Florida, has been the target of many lawsuits after numerous people were reported as getting hurt while riding this insane water slide. The most expensive lawsuit they encountered was for a man that received injuries back in 2000. He was awarded $1.73 million. He also lost the ability to move or use his legs after hitting his head on something hard on the way down. Totally not worth the cash, that's for sure. This was just one of the many cases surrounding the Black Hole. Number 14, the Aqua Loop. The fears we had for choice number 18 actually happened on this crazy water slide. The Aqua Loop is a water slide ride located at the Wet n Wild Park in Australia. The ride is set up so that the riders slide up and do a full rotation, then slide upside down before dropping back down towards the ground again. In 2012, a woman sued after not getting enough air to make it around the loop, which caused her to become stuck inside the ride. Fearing that another rider would soon plummet down to shoot, she managed to find an escape hatch and pull herself out of the ride, where she could wait to be rescued. Number 13, Kilimanjaro. Once known as the world's tallest slide before our contender in number 3 was built, the Kilimanjaro water slide in Brazil is not a ride for the faint of heart. According to the legend surrounding the water slide, once the ride has begun, your body doesn't touch the slide again until you reach the bottom. With a legend like that, it's a wonder that there aren't reported deaths every few rides. Standing at an incredible 164 feet, this slide is sure to give you the thrill of your life. Number 12, the Arriba Water Park. This entire water park was affected by the dangerous things that happened here. In fact, they were forced to segregate men and women because of the incidences that occurred. The water park is located in the tiny village of Norderstedt and is frequently visited by migrant workers. In March of 2015, 2 girls were ambushed and harassed by 2 Afghan workers that were visiting. Security was able to separate the groups and arrest the men involved, but this wasn't the first time something like this had happened. Eventually, due to all of the sexual harassment issues surrounding this water park, they had to segregate the sexes. Number 11, the Aquasphere. Since its conception, the Aquasphere slide at the Peninsula Aquatic Recreation Center in Australia has seen its share of injuries. One boy that was thrown from the slide was unconscious and limp when he landed. In fact, when the ride was first opened, there were injuries and issues when the staff and their families tried to ride the slide. If you have that many issues right out of the gate, you might need to shut down the ride or upgrade your safety procedures before you let anyone else on. Number 10. The Sahara Sidewinders. This crazy water slide boasted about being the first indoor water slide that featured loops in the design. The Sahara Sidewinders ride is located at the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells. In 2011, they were hit with a lawsuit after a boy was injured while riding. Wisconsin Dells is notorious for having complaints and injuries at its other resorts and properties, but this event was considered one of the worst. Number 9. Cannonball Falls. This is considered the most dangerous water slide in the entire state of New Jersey. There were so many people becoming injured on this ride that the park had to be shut down in September of 2015. The most common injuries sustained at this ride? Shoulder injuries from the fall. It may look like fun, but there are too many injury reports for us to try it out ourselves. Number 8. The Leap of Faith. In the Bahamas, there is a water slide that drops you 60 feet down a tube into an enclosed shark tank. The water slide is called the Leap of Faith, which seems rather appropriate if you ask us. There might not be any outstanding injury reports for this crazy water slide, but in 2008, a female reef shark leaped over the 18-foot barrier around the exhibit and ended up tumbling down the slide. Unfortunately, the shark died after being exposed to the chlorine water in the slide's bottom pool. The incident happened before the park was open, so no one was hurt. But could you imagine sliding down a slide with a shark sliding down behind you? No thanks. Number 7. The Insano. Located in Brazil, this crazy tall water slide was once considered one of the tallest in the world at 135 feet. Others have been built taller since then, but this one still has some scary qualities. It's equivalent to a 14-story building, and it's so steep that the entire ride is over in a quick 5 seconds. That's a short ride for such a long line. While there might not be any recorded accidents for this water slide either, this one will surely do some damage at some point. Number 6. The Summit Plummet. Located in Disney's Blizzard Beach, the Summit Plummet is clearly not for those with a weak stomach. You can just see how thrilling and heart-stopping that incredible 120-foot drop is. If the sides were a smidge taller or even enclosed, this water slide might have not been included on this list. This is another one that doesn't have any clear incident reports, but since riders say that there is a good portion of the ride where you aren't touching the slide at all, an accident will eventually occur. Number 5. The Vertigo Slide. Located in Benidorm, Spain, this insane water slide is responsible for taking the majority of one man's face and part of his left leg off, which caused the pool below to run red with his blood. This ride works by having the rider stand on the platform that opens into the main drop, starting the ride. The man was seriously injured when the platform only partially opened and gravity forced him through the hole anyways. The partially closed platform door scraped off half of his face as well as the majority of the skin on his leg on his way down. The pool at the bottom of the ride was tainted with his blood. Number 4. Shoot the Rapids. Shoot the Rapids is a water slide located at Cedar Point. You sit up to 10 riders in a raft and go down a huge water slide. The most extreme accident that happened here was when a raft that was supposed to be dragged uphill back to the beginning of the ride started rolling backwards and flipped upside down, trapping 10 people, some of which were children under the water. If not for the quick thinking and help of those nearby who manually lifted and flipped the raft right side up again, those 10 people may have drowned. All were taken to the hospital and one woman was treated for some head injuries. Number 3. Verrückt. With a name that roughly translates to crazy in German, Verrückt has to be one insanely dangerous ride, and it is. Located in the Kansas City Water Park, this scary water slide once decapitated a 10-year-old boy that was apparently too skinny to have been led on the ride in the first place. In August of 2016, witnesses say that they heard a loud bang and screaming, and then blood began to run out the bottom of the slide. The slide has since been closed, and the decision is being made whether or not to keep it closed for good. Number 2. The Speed Slide. This dangerous slide once caused 2 young girls to sue due to internal damages done to their private parts. The famous feature of the speed slide was the long flat stretch that forced water in between girls' legs. The 2 young girls that came forward in this lawsuit both received extensive and horrific injuries because of the force of the water. The water slide was once a part of the Nobel's Water Park in Pennsylvania, and we assume it was shut down since it is no longer listed as a thrill ride or an attraction on their website. Number 1. Sky Caliber. Action Park was one of the most dangerous parks in the United States. It was closed, transformed, and renamed into a new park, and is now back to using the former name of Action Park. The Sky Caliber is the newest addition to Action Park, and although there haven't been incidences so far, this park seems to have a way of hurting people. It was opened in the summer of 2016. We'll just have to wait and see if this becomes Action Park's newest deadly attraction.
Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.
For better.